Did you know there was an all-female elite group tasked with protecting one of the most controversial leaders in history? They were known as the Amazonian Guard, or officially, the Revolutionary Nuns. This cadre of bodyguards was anything but ordinary, dedicated exclusively to the safety of Muammar Gaddafi, the leader of the Libyan Jamahiriya. Their existence was a rare phenomenon in the world of global security forces, where an all-female team protecting a political leader was almost unheard of. But who were these women, and how did they come to be Gaddafi's personal protectors? The formation of the Amazonian Guard was not just a military decision, but a political statement. In the late 1970s, Libya witnessed the birth of an elite group of female bodyguards, a cadre that would come to be known informally as the Amazonian Guard. This formation was one of Muammar Gaddafi's many unconventional approaches to governance and public image. Gaddafi was a figure who often delighted in defying Western expectations. By establishing an all-female guard, he aimed to project an image of Libya as a progressive nation in terms of gender roles. This move was designed not only to challenge the prevailing norms of the Arab world, but also to send a clear message globally about the role of women in Libyan society. The training regimen for these women was nothing short of grueling. They underwent extensive martial arts training, learned how to handle various firearms, and were schooled in advanced survival techniques. But the training was not purely physical. Gaddafi ensured that these women were also ideologically aligned with his revolutionary vision. They were indoctrinated with his political philosophies, ensuring their loyalty and commitment were beyond reproach. Their role extended beyond mere protection. They were a key part of the propaganda machine that sought to portray Gaddafi as a feminist and progressive leader. Their presence was a statement, a challenge to the stereotypical views held by many about the role of women in the military and in society at large. Trained to be lethal, loyal, and unwavering, these women were more than just bodyguards. They were symbols of Gaddafi's Libya. The Amazonian Guard was often seen but rarely understood. Clad in military fatigues or sometimes in high heels and evening gowns, these women were not just a unique fixture, but a statement. They were deployed during numerous state visits and at high-profile events, always close to Gaddafi, their presence a mix of glamour and stern discipline. When Gaddafi traveled to international summits, the revolutionary nuns were there, immediately drawing the eyes of the world's media. Their striking appearance in bodyguard attire, contrasted with their gender in a predominantly male profession, sparked endless discussions and speculations. At the 2009 G8 summit in Italy, their immaculate uniforms and poised demeanor became a focal point, not just for security but for photographers and journalists alike. The implications of such a distinctive security detail were profound. Domestically, it suggested that Gaddafi was both progressive and protected by those he trusted unequivocally. Internationally, it painted a picture of a leader who both valued strength and challenged conventional norms. This duality was a calculated move to bolster his image as a revolutionary leader, not just in Libya but across the globe. Their presence at these events was not merely for show. Trained extensively in firearms and martial arts, they were as competent as they were loyal, a true embodiment of their dedication to Gaddafi's safety. Their presence was undeniable, but their lives were shrouded in mystery. Yet behind the scenes, the Amazonian Guard faced numerous challenges and controversies. Being part of this elite cadre wasn't just about the glamour of the uniform. It carried a heavy weight of obligation and sacrifice that often went unnoticed. There have been allegations that some of these women were coerced into joining the Guard. Stories have surfaced of young girls being handpicked from schools, subjected to rigorous training, and thrust into a life they hadn't chosen. They were not just guards but also symbols of Gaddafi's regime, their lives intertwined with his in a way they couldn't escape. The lifestyle controls imposed on the Amazons were strict and uncompromising. They were required to take a vow of chastity, and their personal lives were closely monitored. Any semblance of individuality was submerged beneath the collective identity of the Guard. The psychological pressure of being in such a high-stakes role was immense. They were not just protecting Gaddafi, they were safeguarding the stability of a regime, a task that required unwavering loyalty and nerve of steel. The consequences of failure were not just personal but had far-reaching implications for the entire nation. The sacrifices these women made were significant, often overshadowed by the public persona they were required to maintain. The Amazonian Guard may have been a symbol of female empowerment on the surface, but underneath the facade of empowerment hid a much more complex and often troubling reality. With the fall of Gaddafi came the disbandment of his legendary guard. The Libyan Civil War, a pivotal conflict that erupted in 2011, marked the beginning of the end for Muammar Gaddafi's four-decade regime. As the war intensified, the Amazonian Guard, or the Revolutionary Nuns, found themselves in the eye of the storm, tasked with the perilous duty of protecting Gaddafi at all costs. Throughout the conflict, these women displayed extraordinary bravery, often seen on the front lines defending strategic locations and even participating directly in fierce battles. Their loyalty was unyielding, their commitment unwavering, despite the chaos unraveling around them. However, as the rebel forces gained ground and international intervention escalated, the situation became increasingly untenable for Gaddafi and his loyal protectors. In the tumultuous days leading up to Gaddafi's capture and death in October 2011, many of the Amazonian Guard were either captured, killed, or forced into hiding. The once glorified brigade was left scattered and leaderless, their fate as uncertain as the country's future. In the aftermath, the disbandment of the Amazonian Guard was inevitable. The new Libya, emerging from the shadows of dictatorship, saw a dramatic shift in the role of women. While some former guards struggled to reintegrate into a society marked by its turbulent past, others found new paths, advocating for women's rights and participating in the rebuilding of their nation. Their story raises questions about loyalty, power, and the cost of protection. The Amazonian Guard remains a fascinating chapter in the complex narrative of global politics and gender roles. Throughout this exploration, we've uncovered the origins and ideologies that shaped this unique unit of bodyguards. Comprised entirely of women, the Revolutionary Nuns were not just protectors, they were a bold statement on the international stage about the capabilities and roles of women in conflict and security. Reflecting on their high-profile operations and the controversies they navigated, the Amazonian Guard's existence challenges and expands our understanding of military and security roles traditionally dominated by men. Their story is a powerful reminder of the intersections of politics, gender, and power dynamics, urging us to reconsider the conventional paradigms of gender roles in more rigid structures. As we contemplate their impact, consider how the presence of such forces reshapes perceptions and realities of women in defense sectors across the globe. What are your thoughts on the Amazonian Guard? Join the discussion below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you found this video enlightening.